Hey folks, welcome to the Ramble. You know, there are a lot of more timely and more important things I could be talking about in this video, but you know what? Adam West died recently and I haven't really said much about it on the channel, so what am I doing? Much better. I don't talk about it much, but I do have a bat pole here at the house. It's just not fully loaded. I just get the t-shirt, not the full costume. Oh, one more thing. There we go. Adam West was my first Batman. He actually was Batman 14 years before I was born, so he was he was my pre-Batman. But he was the first live actor that I ever saw play Batman. And Adam West's Batman show was a show that I went from loving to being terribly, terribly embarrassed about to loving again. When I was a child watching Adam West's Batman, I took it seriously. I looked at it as a great superhero adventure show. It's like when you're 5 or 6 or 7 years old and you watch wrestling and wrestling is real to you. You don't think like, oh, these are just, you know, it's predetermined and they're just working something and they're cooperating and, you know, Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan don't really hate each other. They're just pretending for our entertainment. You don't think that when you're a kid. And when you're a kid watching the Adam West Batman show, you don't think, oh, this is hilarious. What a brilliantly written comedy. It's so tongue-in-cheek and so straight-faced. You think, oh, it's Batman and Robin. Look, there they are, bigger than life. There they are in the flesh. There are people in those costumes. And look, they're chasing the Joker and the Penguin. They're real. So you go through that wonderment phase when you see it as a kid. And then in my case, what happened was I grew out of it and I became a cynical, bitter adolescent. And I read The Dark Knight Returns and Batman Year One and The Killing Joke and all these really wonderful comic books featuring Batman from the mid to late 80s and then on into the 90s when they had the Nightfall saga. And at the same time, Batman the Animated Series was coming on, and that, even though it was very much aimed at kids and teenagers, it was still superficially a pretty dark show. You know, the character designs and the art direction of the show was very dark, and I was into the dark Batman, the Dark Knight. I wanted my Batman. My Batman was going to be serious. And my Batman was going to be adult. And my Batman was going to be gritty. And he wasn't going to be a joke. And I came to resent the Adam West Batman series. I looked at that Batman and I thought, that's not the real Batman, though. How could anybody who's a true Batman fan like that? He makes Batman into a joke. Batman's not a joke. Batman's serious business. And I stayed there for a while. I mean, pretty much my entire adolescence, I was in that place about the Adam West show. I didn't watch it. I didn't really want to watch it. I didn't have good feelings about it. And then something happened when I got into my mid-20s. I watched an episode of it again. I think it was on TV Land or something. I was just flipping through the channels, and I happened to catch an episode of it, and it was an episode that I remembered from when I was a child. I think it might have been the episode where Mr. Freeze had them in the giant slushy cones. Like, that was the trap that they had to escape from. And I watched it, and I saw it with fresh eyes. I saw it for the first time as if I had never seen it before, and I got it. I got it in the way that I couldn't have gotten it when I was a child, and in a way that I probably couldn't have gotten it if I had watched it and made an effort to appreciate it as a teenager. I realized for the first time for myself what it was, and that was that it was a brilliant satire of superheroes and of adventure tropes in general. It was a incredibly skillfully done comedy, and at the center of it, making the whole thing work, was this genius performance as Batman and Bruce Wayne by Adam West. His Batman believes with every ounce of his being in what he is saying. He is the upright citizen to end all upright citizens. And the fact that he is dressed as a bat while he is this upright upholder of the law makes it even more sublimely absurd. One of the many inspired things about the recent DC animated movie that featured Adam West and Burt Ward reprising their roles as Batman and Robin and returning to the style and the world of the 1966 Batman show was that it took that moral rectitude of Adam West's Batman and it made it a plot point. It had one of the villains sort of compromising Batman, drugging him and making him take his obsession with obeying the law and maintaining law and order to an extreme, to an obsessive extreme, where he crossed over from being a hero into being a villain because he was so determined that everyone would follow the rules and everyone would do the right thing. And that's such a perfect natural extension of the character as established in the live action series. And it's one of the things that made that animated series, or that animated film, I should say, such a joy to watch. One of my favorite Adam West Batman moments isn't even from a proper episode of the show. Many years ago, I came into possession of a VHS tape that was like a collection of bloopers and highlights from old TV shows from the 70s and the 60s. And one of the centerpieces of the tape was a series of segments that Adam West and Burt Ward had hosted in character as Batman and Robin as part of the ABC fall preview special.
Could you get that, Robin? I'm busy solving a crime.
And the conceit to explain what Batman and Robin were doing, talking about upcoming shows on the ABC network, was that one of Batman's villains had stolen a show from the upcoming slate of ABC programs. And when Batman makes this discovery and says this, Robin punches his palm and he goes, "Holy grand larceny, Batman! Who would do such a thing?" And Adam West, as Batman, looks into the distance contemplatively and he says,
"No doubt some poor wretch who's more to be pitied than feared."
And that kills me. That just floors me when I see that, when I think of that, and I think that was nothing. That was just this ephemeral thing that wasn't even going to be on a rerun. It was just a one-shot deal, a freebie for the network for the fall preview special that nobody was going to watch, and it was going to be on once and that was it. And yet in that context, he just comes up with this gold, this wonderful moment that perfectly encapsulates everything that was so great about his Batman. Many of you have seen this, I'm sure. The city of Los Angeles, to honor Adam West after his death, lit the bat signal on the side of City Hall. I look at that image and I can't help but smile and recall something that Commissioner Gordon said at the end of one episode or another after Batman had saved the day yet again. Commissioner Gordon said, "So brave, so dependable, and so modest. Rare among men these days. Very rare." You can say that about Batman, and you can certainly say that about Adam West. And as I'm sure Commissioner Gordon would have said were he here in this circumstance, with a great deal of sadness in his voice, rest in peace, Cape Crusader. Sad yet? Sorry about that. Hey folks, hope you got something out of this one. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And also please consider helping me to make more videos like this one by supporting this channel through Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/Steve Shives to become a patron. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next episode. Same bat time, same bat channel.